Yo, what's good, fam squad? It's Gamer on Grand Street here, back with episode number 2 of How To Game Battles. So today we're going to be breaking down the OBJ role as suggested by my boy Silence Spectrum 1. Comment on screen right now. Go check him out. So this video will be the objective role, and then the next video will be the support role, whether that be, I'll break down the support, and then I'll do support OBJ and support Slayer. Those two videos as a whole should be relatively short compared to the rest of the videos, but today is all about the objective role. So a huge common misconception is that they don't have to kill or that they have to be able to keep up with Slayers, because in Call of Duty Game Battles you have a couple different roles. Like I mentioned, you have objective, anchor, support, and Slayer. And Slayer and objective tend to be the two most requested or highly sought after roles to be in, because those are your clutch time moments. And then the support player kind of is like your mid card. That's who you're relying on a consistent basis, where the Slayer and the objective really have to go off in huge clutch time. So I got 3 tips for you guys, 3 different areas of knowledge I'm going to drop on you guys. And the first one's going to be what I would feel the most obvious one. Rushing isn't always the best. Now, if you guys are round 10 and you realize that their team is more of a defensive role, and you can get to B-bomb or A-bomb without them challenging you, and you can get the bomb down, that's probably the best thing to do. But don't get it twisted. The objective player isn't always supposed to rush to the flag. It isn't always supposed to rush to the bomb, the hard point, the CTF flag, the uplink ball, whatever the case may be. You're not always supposed to rush it there. Now, in uplink situation, you are supposed to be getting the ball and going. You should be one of the most important players when it comes to uplink, hardpoint, dom, CTF, search and destroy. Like, you are one of the most important players, but rushing isn't always great, because here's the thing. If you're up against a team that's able to aggressively defend, where they're in good positions to defend bomb or the flag, well, we'll talk about search and destroy specifically, to defend bomb, and they can kill you while you're, I don't know, 30 feet out of a building from the rest of your teammates, you're really putting the rest of your team in a bad decision and a bad placement if that other team recognizes that bomb's down. So one of the next piece of information is you are one of the 2 most important roles in clutch time. This meaning that same thing, if you can get bomb down in a heartbeat, then get it down. But here's the thing, most rounds are a minute and a half. So if you're in a situation where you have, I don't know, 15 seconds on the clock and you can get the bomb down, you need to allow your team, if it's round 11 and you are on offense and you got 15 seconds, you gotta get that bomb down, or else you guys are losing. Or if you guys are playing, I think Black Ops 2 has 2.5 minute rounds. If you guys are playing, you're at a minute 45 seconds in round 11, you can get the bomb down, you just cut their time in half to try and kill you. I cannot tell you how many situations, how many round 11s we've won because Joe or Cole or Josh planted the bomb with more than well enough time for us to get set up, but planted the bomb and dropped their time so much that they rushed us, and we got, 2-3 pieces, and we killed the entire team. So that was one of the most important things to do, is to get the bomb down. For sure. In situations where you're in round 11, the objective role probably is the most important. The Slayer would probably be the second most important against support, 3rd/4th. So, the next thing, the final thing, the most common sense thing would be this. Your main goal is to get the bomb down, to cap flags, and you should have the most hardpoint time / uplink, CTF balls, whatever. So bomb down, again, forces time. You also, I wouldn't say you're the one that has to defuse, but you need to play smart, and you, when you're playing defense, should be specifically focused around one bomb. You should not be bouncing back and forth like your support should be. Your Slayer should be kind of controlling the mid lane. You should be locking down a single bomb, normally the one that you can get to closest. And then your support players are the guys that, again, you have to rely on consistently to get out there and do some work. So when it comes to capping flags, you need to be stealthy. This is the part where I said rushing isn't always the best thing to do, because if you can get around the map without being seen and get in good position to line up a couple kills, get the flag, and get your ass out of there to get some points, then that is what you need to do. The second game mode that I want to talk about a little bit, uplink, kind of applies the same thing to CTF. So when you're in good position to get the ball, get a couple kills lined up, get the ball in, that's what you should be doing. Hardpoint is the only game mode where I feel like you shouldn't have to be the first in the hardpoint and the last out of the hardpoint. So you will have the most hardpoint time, no doubt. You should have the most hardpoint time. The anchor, though, should always be the first guy in the hardpoint and one of the last guys out of the hardpoint. You might be the last guy out, but the anchor should be one of the first in and one of the first out, so he can get the lockdown spawns. That's what the anchor does, is lockdown spawns. So if you have a good anchor, you should be good. But in a game where it takes 4 or 5 minutes, whatever the time is of hardpoint time to win the game. You should be having like 3.5 to 4 minutes of that time. You should have the majority of your team's hardpoint time to win. That is what your goal is. Again, the rushing isn't always the best thing. So when you have an anchor lining up to get a hill, then that's what you need to do. You need to play it slow so the anchor can get you in there safely and you could lock it down with your support players. So that's pretty much what the deal is with objective players. You need to don't rush all the time. You are the most important role in round 11s in Search and Destroy. And your main goal is to get bombs down, cap flags, uplink balls, and hardpoint time. So if that fits you as a player, then that is going to be your role for your team coming up. And we're going to slowly start building your Game Battles team to fit to win. At the end of this series, near the end of this series, I will talk about deciding your role before we hop into any other situations where you have to pick up players. So with that said, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. The next episode of this will be breaking down the support player, then the anchor, then the slayer, I believe. Unless you guys want a different suggestion, leave it down in the comment section below. This has been your boy, Tyler, or GOG, and peace out, fam squad.